Baker Mayfield today, and here's why. He made huge strides this past season, won his first playoff game. Now all the attention will be on whether or not he gets a contract extension. His head coach, Kevin Stefanski, was just on KJZ on ESPN radio moments ago. Here's what he said.
I'm lucky in that I have a really good general manager that gets to worry about this. But I will tell you, I mean, obviously, Andrew and I talk about all of our players and all of these things. But I'll just tell you that all of these decisions, it's a business, but things take care of themselves. It works itself out. And we're just going to focus, or at least I'm going to focus on the day-to-day. And as it applies to Baker, I know he's going to do the same.
So he said that, and then this is not relevant, but it sure is interesting. Last night, Baker Mayfield tweeted the following: almost 100% Em and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis. Anybody else witness this? He tweeted that 8 hours ago. Now, this probably has no bearing whatsoever on his contract negotiation situation, but it certainly seemed worthy of showing it to you. So, having said that, let me come to you, Field Yates. The Browns have an interesting decision to make, and there are a lot of situations going on in the NFL right now they're probably taking into consideration. What are those?
So, Grady, let's paint the case for extending Baker Mayfield right now very briefly. One, if the player performs well during the extension, it's going to eventually become a team-friendly deal in a few years. Two, you avoid a Dak Prescott situation where you're going through frustrating, drawn-out negotiations with your quarterback and playing year to year. And I get those. But I think the Jared Goff and Carson Wentz trades that aren't even official yet but have been consummated are cautionary tales right now for the Cleveland Browns. Let me be clear. Baker Mayfield was outstanding last year. And I'm not saying he's not going to continue to be really good, but he has been more up and down than somebody like Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson, who were no doubt about it extensions. If I'm the Browns, maybe I'm tapping the brakes right now, letting this play out one more year, which can be a benefit for not just the team, but Baker himself as well in the long term.
So let's be clear what we're saying here. 3 years into your career is the earliest a team can extend a contract. They're not obligated to. They can pick up the fifth-year option and control him for a minimum of 2 more years without even getting the franchise tag involved. Those are the options in front of them. Right now, Rob Ninkovich, are you ready, if you're the Browns, to sort of look at this like a relationship? Are you ready to marry Baker Mayfield and spend the rest of your lives together?
Got to pump the brakes. I need 1 more year. Just pump the brakes here on a long-term extension. There's a few things that I would like to see improve from Baker, and that's basically just drop back passing. And you look at play action pass and all those things that work together with the running game. Yes, he does great at moving the ball down the field with a great methodical running game and play action pass. But when they have to throw the ball and you know he's throwing the ball, he struggles a bit. He's bottom of the league when it comes to straight drop back passes. And when he throws the ball 30 to 40 times a game, it's not a good thing. So I would need to see a little bit more development in just purely the passing game, because if I'm going to pay you a lot of money, I want a quarterback that I can rely on in back passes and know he's going to put the ball where it needs to be.
All right, so we're 0 for 2 so far. Canty, how about you?
No, I'm agreeing with both of those guys. I'm not paying Baker Mayfield this offseason. He's not the quarterback in the 2018 draft class that's going to get an extension this summer. I think Baker Mayfield has to be more consistent. In the first 3 years for Baker, it's been too much of a roller coaster. And in the NFL, you want your quarterback to be a stabilizing force, and you also want him to be a force multiplier. What I mean by that is making everybody around you better, elevating the talent level around you. The Cleveland Browns has done a great job of being able to surround Baker with the talent, but we know once you pay that quarterback, you're going to start losing pieces. You're going to start losing some of your talent base, so your quarterback has to be able to elevate the play of the guys that are stepping in. Baker Mayfield hasn't shown me that he can consistently do that, and so that's the part that I'm looking for in terms of the evolution of his game.
To be clear, in that draft class, we're talking about Josh Allen in Buffalo. I assume you're ready to marry him.
Absolutely.
And Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. And then you've got Darnold and Rosen, and that was that class. And how the UFO factors into all of this, I suppose, remains to be seen. In the meantime, let's talk about a quarterback about whom there are no questions, and that's Tom Brady, who joined Peyton Manning this past year as the only starting quarterbacks to win Super Bowls with multiple teams. He was on the Late Late Show with James Corden the other night, and he opened up about what went south in New England. I thought this was fascinating. Give a listen.
I think that when we were at that point, at the Patriots, everyone at the start of the season would be like, well, who you guys playing in the championship game?
Sure.
And it always got to be like, the expectations were so, not unrealistic. It was just like people jumped ahead of all the intense competition, which in the end for us, you kind of feel like, it's a lot harder than that.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than that.
I thought there was something very interesting and telling about that, and it reminded me of a conversation I had with Tom Brady's father on my radio show the day after the Super Bowl, when he offered, I think, fascinating insight into what it is that drives Brady to keep going. This is part of what he said.
He loves the dirty work. He loves the off-season workouts. He loves the diet. He loves the exercise. He loves the locker room. He loves the mentoring. So it's the process that is what drives him and motivates him.
That, I think, is fascinating because every football player I've ever known has said, if it was just about the games on Sundays, I would never have stopped playing. There's nothing more exciting than playing in the NFL. It is all the nitty-gritty that goes into it that is what eventually drives players away from the game. But Brady loves the nitty-gritty. So let me present this to you, Ninkovich, as his former teammate. If 5 years ago I had said Tom Brady is going to keep playing 5 more years and still be at a high level, everyone would have called me crazy. So who's to say that he's that close to the end right now? If he loves the process and he's got everything going the way he does right now, who's to say that Brady doesn't have plenty of time left, at least that he views it that way? Nico, you know him well. What do you think?
Don't bet against Tom, number one. And look, don't let all the interviews and Tom's nice smile fool you. The guy's got a little bit of crazy in him. I mean, he's playing at an excellent level, and his ability to be, he's probably the most disciplined player that I've ever been around. And to have that discipline, you got to be a little bit cuckoo, a little bit crazy. He's got it. We've seen it. You see it when he screams and yells at guys. He's got that edge. So I don't think 3 years is out of the question. I don't think that it's crazy to say that Tom is going to play past 45, especially after playing this season, playing healthy, looking the way that he looks, and loving the grind. He loves the grind. He loves doing everything that he does to prepare himself to play at a high level. So I would expect Tom to play at 46. That's what I'm thinking.
What do you think, Chris Canty? When did you first figure out just how tough this guy was?
Well, it was 2007 when I was a member of the Dallas Cowboys, and we were playing the Patriots, who were then undefeated, and they were previewing it. They were billing it as a Super Bowl preview. And I remember at one point in that game, our defensive coordinator, Wade Phillips, dials up a zero blitz, and I come scot-free. The offensive line parted like the Red Sea, and I've got a full head of steam, a clean run at Tom Brady, and I hit him about as hard as any player I've ever hit in my National Football League career. And I thought I knocked him out of the game. This is back before they had all of the quarterback protections, back when they had envelopes flying around if you knocked out one of the opposing players. And it was a situation where I thought I got him. And then one of my teammates tapped me on my shoulder pad and told me to turn around and take a look. And it was Matt Light helping Tom Brady get up on the turf. And it was at that moment that he had my ultimate respect. So when it comes to saying whether or not Tom Brady is washed up, I'm going to be the last one to that party because that dude is just different.
Right, Nico, you've seen it. I mean, again, playing with him, he's that kind of tough, which is necessary, and a little bit of crazy, which is necessary to play in the league at all, and he loves the grind. I'm telling you right now, whatever people are setting as the end of his career, take the over. That's my bet. Take the over. I don't think he's that close to done. Nico, you've seen it.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm telling you, in practice, everything that he does, the way he prepares, after a game, flying back on the plane, he's not even enjoying himself. He's in the computer looking at the next opponent, preparing in his notes. He loves it. He loves the grind. And when you can embrace that and you love that,